Did you know that a New York City transit worker Francis T. Gilbride, born 1935 in Brooklyn, New York, was part of a secret brotherhood eternal order of conspiracy theorists, who in turn left behind when he died in 2002, a diabolical plan to take over the world and commit mass genocide while seizing control of the government. His plan included indoctrinating the entire population with the new metaphysical agenda, based on a tag of Buddhism and Gnostic Christianity with the combined belief of Catholicism and Lutheranism into a New Age metaphysic, based on satanic magic and ritualistic tendencies. This is a real realm where people practice Christianity by day and literally practice black magic at night within the same churches, and these churches were to spawn all over the world where they practiced black magic and Midlothian magic and sacrificial sacrifices to gods and had devotions to otherworldly and astral entities, including those from the Phoenician kingdoms and ancient religions. They also combined the religions of New Age metaphysics, meditation, Pleiadians and conspiracy theories into an agenda cult where participants paid $3,000 to suicide in doing it upon request. However, aside from this New Age faction of the cult where the population will undergo a mass hypnosis through the cult astral projections and voodoo practices, which was specifically designed to be interpreted as New Age voodoo Christianity practices that include black magic, paganism and all this. But aside from this teachings by their participation and not only the influence build, but the finance and sale of illegal drug distribution throughout urban communities with government sponsorship, including the distribution of narcotics and crack cocaine, methamphetamine, pills and distribution also cited as took place in cities such as Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia throughout the 21st century, aside from New York City and various places throughout the South and in New Mexico where they also participated in a child trafficking ring. Now this cult, each member is either paid member designed to die upon request to commit suicide, or they're a founding member and a leader, and as such they are meant to have a 9-to-5 upstanding job within the education or finance system or for the city government. Also included is pharmaceutical, exports, journalism, as well as the federal government and the county government. Those are acceptable jobs, but most of their people either work in the financial or in the education system in the 21st century, and they also participate in a silent auction that takes place on holidays, especially on Halloween, for where adult buyers convene for auctions to be held on the eve of Christmas, not Christmas Eve, but just a few days before the same day each year in December, and on Easter Sunday, where there are silent auctions where the children were shipped for 25 years by a school bus driver from a local school to the silent auction where they would meet with Santa or the Easter Bunny and get presents without their parents present and stay out late at night until 11 o'clock something at night and get dropped off by the school bus driver without any parents' involvement. This happened every Christmas for 25 years from 1987 till 2018, or something like that. So this was over 25 years, almost about 30 years. This was through a system and network of personal acknowledgement from eyewitness accounts and various witnesses and testimonies, some of them from participants and even traders. Now Francis T. Gilbride left this agenda to be taken over by his family, and his ex-wife's family was basically taken out of the picture by his son. His son-in-law Frankie Gilbride, who asked a couple of kids for him jobs, inappropriately mourned before he passed and died, and had his second wife's son-in-law jump to his death at 9/11 as he was being indicted for embezzlement for $1 million from the bank at the World Trade Center. When he jumped to his death, and all of the Strasbergs and Francis's son claimed to be dealing drugs outside the White House, dealing crack outside the White House while wild up. Francis Gilbride's son Patrick Thomas Gilbride is the mouthpiece for the cult, recruiting through his Edward Jones office in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. The Strasbergs continue to participate in drug operations outside the White House, while they were also involved in medical mind control experiments and psychic experiments at medical offices in New York, Brooklyn, New York. They also were involved in psychic mind control experiment in San Diego, California, where they were injected with the serum. So these people are off the chain nuts and intrigued by the energy fields of every human being on the planet. Make consist of the Strasbergs as drug dealers, the Flammarys as child traffickers, and the Gilbrides as New Age cult recruiters who also interactively say racist things to people on a route and participate in community volunteer organizations such as youth organizations and scouting, sports and church gatherings. While this cult is literally more arms than a hair-chroma statuette, its arms and factions are still, in fact, operating. If you see or hear of the Strasbergs and Flammarys in your area, you can reach out. While having spread across the map, the cultists are now recruiting in many rural areas throughout the East Coast. Right now they have been known to operate in Bay Ridge, Park Slope, Brooklyn, NY, Richmond Terrace, Staten Island, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, South Carolina, Southern Georgia, St.